Hello and welcome to a new video by me. In this tutorial or in this video I'm going to show you a cool new add-on I created. It's at the moment it's in the beta. It's in a beta because there are some things that should be or that will be corrected. But yes, I'm so excited that I can't hide it from you. So I want to share it. Yeah, this add-on is really awesome because recently I just took a look at the motion capture things that can be found in the internet, for example on Mixamo, etc. And I just wanted to know how you can connect a Mixamo rig with your Blender Armature. And I tried it many times. There weren't any cool add-ons or tools to create this kind of stuff. The only add-on I found was the Rococo Studio add-on, and this was really awesome, so it worked. But the problem was I couldn't edit the motion capture data afterwards. So it was just pasted on the armature and everything worked fine. But after that you couldn't edit your animation or replace some rotations and stuff like this. So I continued my search and I found a YouTube video on Vimeo, no, on YouTube, and I will just quickly share it with you. One second. This was very awesome because a guy named Maciej Szczęsnik, sorry if I just can't spell this name correctly, but this guy has made an awesome technique to make this kind of things work. I will just show it to you. This is his channel, but he only showed the technique on how to make this motion capture stuff. So this is the video, this is the channel. If you want to take a look, I will put the link in the video description. But this technique worked perfectly, and it was very hard to create this stuff all the time, so I just made an add-on for it. And I developed this add-on further and further, and after that there's this is the result, and I just added so many cool functions and stuff that makes this technique easy, and further developed this method this guy on YouTube explained, so that I'm going to sell this add-on on Blender Market. I just had the idea to combine this add-on with my Blender Muscle Tools add-on, and all in all, I hope this is going to be awesome, and I hope it's going to help you also a lot with your motion capture files. If you have some motion capture files or motion capture projects, I think this will be very helpful. Yeah, but I just talked too much. I'm going to show you this add-on here. I'm going to go through every panel here, and I'm trying to explain everything as good as possible to you, so that you have a good overview of this add-on and how it works. But just to give you a kind of a teaser, I'm going to show you a quick motion capture example I made. Just 1 second. This is the first example. So you can see everything works perfectly, completely fine. Yes, this is the first example, and I will show you the second example. And this is the second example. So you can see the motion capture is working perfectly fine. Just one small things here which can be corrected, but this was also just a test. And also the hands are a little crappy. But yeah, I'm going to show you how you can correct this, and this was just a short example I made. As I said, this is the beta, but there are so many cool functions. I think you will be interested. So these were the two teasers. You can see everything works fine, perfectly. There is no shifting in the or twist problems. So everything works perfectly. Okay. First of all, I'm going to tell you where the problem is with retargeting with Blender. I think this is needed. Okay, first I just choose a motion capture file which I downloaded from mixamo.com. This is a website from Adobe where you can download all kinds of motion capture files. So this is a very long motion capture file, samba dancing, and I'm going to import it. Just download your file from mixamo.com, search it, import the FBX, and click here under Armature on automatic bone orientation. If you don't do this, something like this happens. Yeah, looks very funny, but it's not what we need. Okay, let's do this again, but with automatic bone orientation. And now you can see everything looks as expected. Okay, so we have here our motion capture file. And yeah, if we want to copy this motion capture motion to another rig we have, for example, in Blender, the first way one could choose if he wants to do this and with no experience about motion capture data is just to select the bone, add, for example, a copy rotation constraint on each bone, apply this to the motion capture armature. For example, here this is the hips, so hips to hips, for example, and upper leg to upper leg. So let's just do this, copy rotation. I just want to show you the problem. Left up leg, for example. Yeah, this looks cool. Let's do this with the lower leg. Left leg. So this is the lower leg, this is the upper leg. And as you can see, yeah, it looks kind of cool. But there is a problem. The problem is going to reveal when we, for example, want to copy the arm. Then you can see something weird happens. the arm is rotated in the wrong direction. So there is a rotation by 180 degrees, and yeah, you have here several options where you can just twist the axis, but if you do this, you can see that it really just don't work. So this is the main problem with retargeting. The bone orientation of the Mixamo rigs aren't always the same as your orientation from your rig. So this is the big problem. And there are many ways to solve this, and yeah, this retargeting tool gives you the perfect solution to fix this. And I'm going to show you how it works. The technique is really easy, but very complicated when you do this manually. So I just thought about how you can solve this, and I watched this video as I showed you before, and the guy told that you can add empties, several empties on every bone here, for example, and these empties are connected to other empties. So I will just show it to you quickly. There's a main empty and there's a control empty, and these empties are parented to every bone, tail and head. So like this, for example. And then these middle empties, for example, are parented to the this sphere empties, for example, are parented to the box empties. So something like this. And then these box empties are parented to the individual bones. And then the empties are following the bones, and there is this small empty here inside, and yeah, every bone from your armature is going to get a copy rotation constraint to these empties here. And after that, you can rotate these empties, which are following the movements of the bones, and can be corrected. So, but this is not the only advantage. The other big cool thing is that you can also make final adjustments after that. So, for example, if the motion capture data is just too extreme and the arm is intersecting with the body, which can't be corrected manually, for example with a Rococo add-on, then you can just rotate this as you wish, and then the arm will be corrected. So, but this was just the theory. Now I'm going to show it in now I'm going to show it to you in an example. So the Retarget Tools add-on requires a target armature and a motion capture armature. The target armature is, as you perhaps think, the armature that you have. So for example, in my case, this is the Idana rig armature, and I'm going to choose it for this example. So this will be the armature which will be edited later in every option here. And then the motion capture armature, which is the armature from Mixamo, so it's called just armature. So armature. And then after we did this, now the add-on has the information of these armature stuff. Then we can create so-called target controllers. And this is just these things which I showed you just a second before, all these little empties. And you can choose the target controller size, for example. I just do this, and as you can see, all these little empties are parented now to the to every bone. And we have here a master target controllers collection, and here are once the main target controllers. These are the cube empties, and then the post target controllers, which are the circle empties or the sphere empties, which can be rotated later. But yeah, we have the master collection, which just yeah, is the parent of these child collections, so that there is a better order, or a better yeah, overview. So when we play this back, we can see that all these empties are parented to each individual bone, and they are following these bones. And when we scale them, they are just following, and when we, for example, rotate here, all the stuff, everything is following correctly. So after we did this, we can, for example, change the size. Yeah, then we can we have here bigger empties or target controllers, and after that we can also hide here this stuff, so that we have also only these empties and etc. Yeah, well, oh, I'm sorry. After that, let's just make them 1.5. This is a good value. Okay, after we did this, we can now go to our armature. This is the armature I'm using. The only thing that is important is that this is an FK armature, so a forward kinematics armature. So everything is working with forward kinematics. These are the bones, and they don't have to be special or some kind of stuff. You can also just add a human metric armature, for example this thing here, and it will work with this armature, for example, just as fine as with this here. The only reason why the bones look so weird is that I added some custom shapes, so just shapes which correct the visual appeal of these bones. Okay, then we will choose every bone which should be connected with the motion capture data. So in this case, I just select every bone here and click on Add Retarget Rotation Constraints. This will adjust some rotation constraints on every bone that I have selected. So let's do this quickly. We can see there are no constraints. Let's click this, and now we can see there are some constraints on every bone that I have selected. If you want to delete them, you can select the bone which you want to delete them from and click on Delete Retarget Rotation Constraints. Okay, this was very easy. We can close this. After that, we can open the Connect Target Controllers, and this is where the magic happens. First, we have to choose a post-target collection. And the post-target collection is the collection where all these sphere empties are, and this is the post-target collection here in your outliner. You can see them, post-target controllers, and you can put them into this cool field here. So post-target controllers armature, and then after we did this, we have to select a root bone. The root bone is the bone where the movement from the armature is going to be. For example, the armature is moving forwards or backwards. This is the root bone which controls the location of the object. For example, if this armature here is moving to left or the right, front or back, and it's not affecting the rotation, this is the root bone in this case. So we will add a root bone. So in this case, the root bone is the center of gravity. So this one here, this one is the one that moves the complete armature. So let's click on center of gravity, click on apply root bone. Okay, something happens, weird happens, but this is not a big deal. As I told you, this is the beta version, but everything worked just fine as expected. We can see now there is added a new little field where you can add a root target controller. And this root target controller is in regular case empty, but I just made some tests with it, so this is filled with data. But you should also just click on this, and there you have all the pose target controllers from this collection here. And in these pose target controllers, these are just these objects here. And there you can choose the pose target controller from this armature. For example, in this case, this is the pose target controller from the hips here. And the pose target controllers are just called by the name of these bones, so it's easy to find them again. So in this case, these are the hips. So pose underscore tc mixamo rig on hips. Oh, let's click on them. And then we can click on connect root. And then you will see what happens. Whoop, our armature jumps to the root. And if we play this back, we can see now the center of gravity follows the motion of the armature. And now it's all just a thing of doing this stuff with the retarget rotation constraints. And I will show you how this works. Let's bring this back here. We can also scale the armature so that this fits more to the character here. So this is, I think this is okay. The best case would be if the armature or the armature is the same height as your model. But in this case, you can see that there's a height difference between the Mixamo rig and my armature. But that's not a big deal. We have connected the root bone, and we also now have to connect all the other bones. It would be very hard to do this all manually, so there is I will just disable only selected. There is a cool interface I built to do this a little quicker. So we just have the location copied from the Mixamo rig, and now we have to do the same with the rotation. Now we have to go through all these bones and do this with every bone. So let's just search for the hips, which we did just a second ago. So let's choose hips in this case and click on connect to constraint. And as you can see, now the rotation is applied to our rig, and this is very cool. Don't be afraid. If you do this once, I also have made a possibility to quickly reuse all your data for new armatures that you import. For example, if you do this once for a Mixamo rig, and then you can quickly import a Mixamo rig and just with 2 mouse clicks you can apply it to other motion capture data. So this is much more convenient. Yeah. Okay. But as you can see now, there is already a shift. So this armature here stands straight, and our armature is shifted in the rotation. So we have here now some adjustment properties on the x-axis, the y-axis and the z-axis. And these are just rotating the post-target controllers. And yeah, so let's just do this. This is the rotation on the y-axis, but we want to rotate this on the x-axis. And now let's bring this in position. So for example, something like 18 degrees. And now this visually suits to the retarget constraint. And yeah, we just connected this. We can do this again and again and again, and nothing will happen because this will only add the post-target controller to the retarget rotation constraint. So we did this with the center of gravity. Now let's do this with the thigh. In this case, all these things will remember, but in your case, you just have to search for the bone name here. There's also the possibility to show the name of the bones, the individual bones. I don't know where, but I think there is the possibility to show the bone names anywhere. No idea, but this is going to work. So now we can just do this with every other pose target here. For example, let's do this with the left up leg. And now you can see there's also a little shift. We can tweak this. So something like this. -5. And the cool thing is, now you can see this happens here. The movement is exactly copied from this location, from this leg to this. Let's do this with the shin. And as you can see, it works perfectly fine. And the cool stuff, the cool thing is that you can do manual corrections on this. So you play this back, for example, and then you think, oh, this looks a little too heavy, so you can pull this back, rotate this, for example, on some other axis, and the main action will also work. So I will show this a little better later. Okay, but let's just do this for every bone here. The best thing is to put this back into its original position and do this stuff here manually. So let's bring this here and let's bring this here. We can also click on only selected, then they will only view the selected stuff here. So for example, like something like this. Let's take the foot. We can toggle collapse all. This will open and close every card here. We can do this manually, or we can toggle this. So only selected. Click on the foot here, open this, and then connect. Now we can see there's a shift. So let's bring this back into position. Yeah, 30 degrees, for example. Then toe end. Now this is completely twisted. So let's twist this back. Seems like it's twisted 180 degrees. So 180 degrees. This looks cool. And now we did this with the one side of these legs. We just have to do this with the other side. But yeah, just if we don't want to copy all these stuff here and put this there, I just built in a cool little function where you can copy this data, click on this and paste it and connect. You can do this afterwards, after connecting also. So this looks cool. Connect. This also connect and connect. And let's go here, copy and paste, copy and paste. Nice. And let's see the result. You can see everything works perfectly. Cool. There's a little shift in the movement, but yeah, this can be corrected if you put the armature a little more to the original bones. But yeah, all in all, you can now tweak this. You can animate this. For example, if there's a intersection, you can animate this, and you can, yeah, do all kinds of corrections very easy. Okay, let's just do this quickly with all the other stuff. Rotate. Here's this little problem. Oh, 30 degrees. Connect, and let's copy this. Connect. Okay, this looks fine. Perhaps a little more here. Connect. Oops. Yeah, something like 13. Oh, negative 13. Then we have here the neck. Connect. Also, this is also shifted. And connect. This looks nice. Then there's the shoulder. Connect. And the shoulder is here a little problematic. But that's not a big deal. So let's rotate this by 90 degrees and then rotate this back so that it fits optically. To our position. If this is a little too hard with these sliders here, I also made the possibility that we can click on Focus Post Target. If we do this, it will focus the post target, and we can do this here by rotating the post target manually. This is a little easier in many cases because with these sliders there are some problems when doing this where the X by the Y and Z axis, so you can do this here visually. Okay, this looks cool. So let's bring this back into the T-pose. We can orient ourselves on the opposite axis here. So let's go back to pose mode and select here our upper arm. Connect. This is also twisted here, but just by 180 degrees. Let's switch here back to this, bring this a little down. Perhaps something like this. Then the left forearm. Connect. This is also twisted. Perhaps we can choose just this to fix this. Yeah, this looks cool. But just move this here a little up. And perhaps something more like this. So that's is more like the base pose. Okay, and finally the hand. This is also twisted. I just pasted this from the others. So this would be normally the case when you do this with copy rotation constraints. So these are the corrections to fit this in the right position. Now there's the opposite side. To be honest, I didn't figure out for the moment how you can mirror these things when you do this. manually. Oh well, it worked for some weird reason. Okay, or not. But no problem. Let's just do this here manually. Okay. Post target. Select, bring this here back into position. Okay. This for this. Now the arm. Connect. Oh, this looks already very cool. Just be sure that it looks similar to the other side. You have very much freedom for correcting this stuff. And there's also the possibility later to just fix every little thing you want in your motion capture data. So this is very, very, very good for example, editing your motion capture data later. Okay, now we did this with all these controllers here. And if we play this back, you can see everything here works as expected. So very, very cool. Yeah, dance, dance, dance. And yes. But as you can see, for example, there is an intersection. Where is the intersection? Let me see. If you are a professional, it would be very problematic if there are any intersections. I hope there are some, so that I can show you what I mean. But these look very clean. But in some cases there are some intersections, for example, where the knee intersects with the other knee. And let's say you just want to put the arm a little up. Then you can, for example, select the head, rotate it, let's put this back into position, 150 for example. Let's go here, set some keyframes, go here, rotate the head to this side, perhaps a little up, add a keyframe, go here, add another keyframe where she looks, for example, to the top, and then bring this back to its original position. And now it follows the complete movement, and you also have the part where she looks to the top, where she looks to this side. Or for example, you just want to put this arm here a little up. So in this in this movement, or let's just do this with the yeah, for example, with the shoulder or the arm. I think the arm is a little better. Yeah, put the arm a little back, something like this, and now put it a little here. And it will work as expected. Completely fine. I will just undo this quickly, so we have the original values here. Something like this. Yeah, and this is very, very cool. So, but this was not everything. We can do this also with the fingers, but this will be, yeah, this would endure a little too long. So I will just quickly show you some other cool stuff here. We now have the possibility to export the post data. So the only thing that is needed to redo this stuff here is the post data. So all these small adjustments that we made here, for example, these rotations here on every little bone. So the retarget, for example. So all these little rotation corrections here, these are needed for all future Mixamo rigs, because they have all the same kind of rotation, and this rotation should be added to these small little bones here. So we can just save the data of these rotations and import them later. So this is the part where we can do this. So let's do this. For example, let's call this Mixamo rig. If you have another motion capture data, then you can do this also with another motion capture data, for example, Rococo rig, and then you can export the post target data file as a PTD data. I called this PTD, no matter why. Don't know why, but PTD, post target data, sounds cool. Then you can do this, export post target data file, and when you do this, just needs a second, and then a file is added. Oh, let's see how we call this. Mixamo rig, okay, in one word. So, wait a second. I will just show it to you. We have now a Mixamo rig PTD. And this is how this looks. Very easy to understand. Just the name of the post target data, post target, and then the 3 rotation values. And this can be used later if you want to, for example, add another armature or another FBX file. So just let's just do this quickly. We saved our Mixamo rig PTD, and let's say we will just delete our target controllers here, delete this stuff. Now our armature is jumped back. Let's delete here this armature, we don't need this anymore, and now you can see there is no animation at all. If we just have to put this out of the motion capture armature data because it's not available anymore. Let's say we just want to import another motion capture data. For example, let's say, no idea, walk in circle. So let's import this. Oh, here's the aimbot. No, not the aimbot. So this thing here that is used on Mixamo to visualize the movement. So let's bring this back into this original position, scale this up to the character so that it suits to it, and then we can choose this. For example, let's call this no idea, walk circle. Then let's add the walk circle as the motion capture armature. Keep in mind that this is the same kind of armature that it was before. For example, this is the Mixamo armature, and this will also only work with this external post data if you have the same kind of armature. So for example, if you have armature from another site out of the internet, you have to do the connection here again and then save this as, for example, Rococo or what motion capture armature ever. So okay, let's do this with this here, just to quickly show it to you how this works. Walk circle. We added this as the motion capture armature. We will add just some target controllers as before. Well, let's make them a little bigger, 2 for example. And then we just edited these, retarget constraints. We also did this. Then we can choose here our post target controllers. This is the post target controllers walk circle, not armature, walk circle, the new one. And because they are called the same, because these bones are the same, all these pose target controller stuff things here are already listed in our root target controller fields here. So also here they are all the same as before. We just have to reconnect them later. If we do this, for example, without clicking on reconnect all, we just can do this. Reconnect is just a quick way to connect all these bones here to all these post target constraints to the constraints of these bones here. For example, if we do this here, the center of gravity, as we did this already. So control thigh, etc., shin, and here they will be connected. So this is just a way to do this with all the bones. So let's click this, and now we can see that this is all these things here are connected, and there are the rotation problems, which is the reason why we have these rotation values here. So this is the foot. As you can see, the foot rotates. And now this we can either we can do this all manually again, or we can use our external post target data. So let's check this out. Let's add the Mixamo rig post target data and click on apply data. And as you can see, all these stuff that we did before is applied to our armature, and everything looks perfectly fine. And if we play this back, we can see everything works as expected. Perfect. And as you can see, there are some problems, for example, with the hand, because I already called the Mixamo rig data Mixamo rig ptd. This was a file that I already created, so it just override the stuff with the hand bones. So let me quickly delete this, but in your case this shouldn't affect the rig. So as you can see, this works fine. And there are the problems that I wanted to show you. In this example, everything works fine, but there are some intersections. And to avoid them, we can quickly go and select our controllers here, only selected. Or let's, for example, choose our upper arm and see how we can correct this. So let's bring this back. And this, for example, let's change the rotation, something like this. Bring this here a little back. Okay, it's a little too close. So and as you can see, we can also hide the walk circle armature and the post target controls. As we can see, now this stuff is corrected. We can just tweak the twist a little more and bring this a little up, rotate this on this axis, rotate this a little inner. Oh, where does it end? 350. Okay, moves a little too much forward. So let's bring this a little back. Also the shoulder can be a little back. We can also switch here to our post targets and just fix this. On this way. Okay, perhaps something like this. And as you can see, there aren't intersections anymore. Oh, well, here are some. Let's quickly correct them. And, well, there aren't any intersections anymore. And finally, we have the possibility to bake this action here. Unfortunately, there are some other constraints here. So this armature also has here these the possibility to do IK and FK stuff, and as a phase rig, and this kind of movements here. So there is a little problem here with the bake, but with a normal armature, a normal human meta rig armature, this should work perfectly fine. But I will just show it to you anyways. We can just add here, for example, the start frame and the end frame, and then click on steps 1 and then click on bake. Just needs a second. And after that, okay, needs 2 seconds or 3 or 5 or 10. So it has to evaluate all little keyframe in this, yeah. So as I said before, there are some problems with the other constraints here, but I believe if I would just enable them, disable them, everything is going to work. Yeah, as you can see now, everything works perfectly fine. We can delete our walk circle stuff here and all the post target controllers, and we can also delete the retarget constraints here, manage retarget constraints, delete them. Now this is the root constraint, yeah, let's delete them too. And this is the final action. So we can put this into an action, we can combine this with other motion capture files, and everything works perfectly fine. So let's just see this in complete action, for example, with the real object, without the animation puppet. Okay, she smiles a little scary, but that's not a big deal. That's not a problem. And also you have the possibility, of course, to, for example, change the fingers and do some other stuff. For example, if you don't want to that the arm is moving, so you can just add the retarget constraints to every little bone except from the arm, and then you can animate the arm separately. So you have so many freedom with this add-on when you want to work with your motion capture data. This is unbelievable, and I'm really proud of this. And yeah, I'm very glad that I could present this add-on to you, and I hope that it was interesting. I hope that you look forward when I develop it a little further, and it gave you a quick and yeah, hopefully yeah, doesn't matter. I just don't know what I wanted to say. I'm just so excited about this cool add-on that I lost the words. Okay. Anyways, I hope you found this interesting. I hope you're interested, and I hope I will see you in the next video, where I just want to make a cool teaser introduction video from this add-on. And yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. So bye, and thank you very much for watching.